Welcome to the Wisdom Bar. All right, y'all. How y'all doing?
Hey.
We are back again.
Yes, we are back. Welcome to another episode of
The Wisdom Bar, y'all.
I am Tamika Joy.
And I am John Colbert.
And welcome. We have an amazing show today. We're going to talk a little bit about, what are we talking about today?
We're going to talk about holistic healing.
That part, I forgot. That quick. Yes, it's so good to always have a co-host, you know. We are talking about holistic wellness and what comes along with those terms, right?
We're going to take it from another angle. We're not going to talk so much about medicine and natural remedies and things of that nature. We're going to take it from an angle of something that is something that everyone can do. We're talking about self-awareness, self-examination in regards to your mind frame, your spiritual well-being, and your mood, how all of those are part of your holistic wellness.
Yes, absolutely. They absolutely are. Really, the approach is about, the whole person. And, your body, your mind, your spirit, your emotions. Those are all the things when it comes to holistic. Yeah. And a lot of people struggle or are not tapped in enough to really know what that consists of and the things that being, that whole holistic wellness and the mindfulness that they need to really tap in to really pay attention to your body to be holistic.
Yes.
Mm-hmm.
I was told once that if you heal the mind, the body will follow.
Absolutely. And so being mindful, well, the mindfulness, is practice of being aware of the present, time and how your body is reacting at that moment. A lot of people don't pay attention to those things when they're going through different situations. They more focus on the actual act other than the emotion that they're having at that present time. And so it continues to be that. If something gets you upset, you'll continue to keep getting upset because you haven't figured out what makes you upset. So then you're upset about it, and then you have high blood pressure and all these other diseases because you haven't really tapped in to say, you know what, I need to figure out why I am having this moment. And so you have that situation at hand, and then you're left with all these other diseases because you're not necessarily paying attention to your body.
Okay. All right. So, with that being said, what are some of the ways that you have tapped into your spiritual and emotional state when you're going through certain situations?
I get in my quiet place. I definitely take my self-care time. I meditate. I'm doing my yoga, reading, affirmations, breathing, all those different things that you need to do. Certain stuff that just make you happy. I go eat by myself, enjoy me. A lot of people have not really tapped in to know who they are and what they really like because they don't spend time with themselves. They're always spending time with others. They're so wrapped up with, how other people, being around other people. They have not even really figured out who they are, and they can't stand to be alone. And so when they can't stand alone, that lets you know that you have not figured out who you are as a person. You don't even know what you are capable of doing, what you're capable of loving, what you're capable of liking or not liking, because you're so surrounded by busyness and people. And so that is important, is that self-care, that alone time, just having dates with yourself.
Yes.
So when it comes time for you to actually find that right person, that you're able to say, you know what, I don't like this, or they ask you, hey, what do you want to eat? You've had numerous occasions of eating by yourself, all the great restaurants, you know where to go to get the movies, all those different things.
And I think that the American, the American way of life, the American society gets us into that mindset where we have to be around people, where we value ourselves according to the number of friends / acquaintances we have, and we also get into the situation where, I don't want to go on this too much, where we end up using that word friend a little too loosely.
Oh yeah. Oh yeah.
We don't realize that. We're going to go through life with maybe a few friends. Everybody else is acquaintances.
Well, and that's the thing, because you don't want to be alone. You measure up a person's relationship or their status to you more than what they really truly are, because you don't want to be alone. You don't want to really figure out or enjoy who you are, really. Yeah. So, that's my BFF. He or she don't have no desire to really like you, be around you, hang with you. It's only for a beneficial situation, and then you're stuck with all these different things when you don't feel like you're getting the support, you're not getting the love. It's not a two-way street where you could go to them and get the help that you need. All those different things come into play. So we have to be mindful and have that mindfulness that if nobody comes through for me, I can come through for me, or I go to the source, the universal source that provides everything. You're not and should not give anybody a certain amount of energy, because that's what we are made of, a frequency of an energy, that much power, that much energy, to where now you're upset because they let you down. And, because you just depended on them to come through all the time. And when they let you down, now you're upset. Now they fake. Now they, all this other stuff that come along with it. They don't have your back and all this other stuff, because we put too much on people. We rely too much on people versus the energy. Yes. Yeah. So yeah, I think
you're told by God's word to put no man on a pedestal.
That's it. Absolutely not. Absolutely not. And when people can't come through, be okay with that. Yeah. Be okay with that. Like, listen, that's just wasn't the time. It wasn't the time. It wasn't the plan. I know. Give the person a benefit of the doubt. They're not. The thing is, when people let you down, you just automatically they fake. I don't rock with them, or whatever the case may be, because they let you down. Versus, you don't know what that person may be going through. So we have to learn how to give people the benefit of the doubt. Yeah. And I think that's what I've been able to really hone in and really master. And sometimes it's even crazy, because people be like, okay, you've overmastered this, because you give people too much of a doubt. But at the end of the day,
it's a learning process.
Yeah,
it's a growing.
That's
it's also a growing process.
Well, and I this is the thing. From that, I learned how to categorize that person. So I know
okay.
that this person is a good person, and they don't, and it's not that they don't mean well. It's that this is their flaw. They're late all the time, or this is their flaw. I can't, they're gonna stretch the truth, or this is their flaw, whatever they're not on a financial situation, I can't depend on. So you have to just categorize people, it's not that you got to cut them off. It's just that you just categorize them. Okay, I know that I can depend on this person for this. This is okay, because I'm not going to cut them off. I'm just going to know that I can't go to that person for this. And that's what it's all about. Okay. And that's how you keep people, in your, you're not necessarily in your circle, but just still have a connect to them without just cutting them off, being upset, being mad at them, and not necessarily letting them have what it is that their purpose and on earth that God had connected you to for. So that's what that is. And so the holistic, the mindfulness, we're going to come back next week with a guest that's really going to rock your socks off and tell you some of the things in her success story about how she really overcame not only being saved by taking medications on top of medications every day, and took herself off of every last one of them, and really got into who she was, her mind, her body, her soul, and now is, taking in herbs and essential oils and all these different things that is keeping her alive versus, all the different things, the bottle, yes. And so that is, a lot of people are afraid to come up off of those things because they really have that much faith in pharmaceutical, and so I'm not one, I'm gonna stay away from it because I ain't trying to be somebody on my head. I'm gonna let it be. I'm gonna let it ride.
It's becoming apparent to the greater number of society more and more.
Oh yeah.
That the pharmaceutical business now. I'm not knocking any doctors, including my own, but let's just think we're all about telling the truth here.
Yeah.
So let's tell the truth.
We just dropping our wisdom, right?
We're beginning to realize now that the pharmaceutical industry and the medical industry, they go hand in hand, and they know what we are beginning to find out, that treatments are more profitable than cures.
Right.
There's no profit in a cure. But if they can keep you coming back time and time again, treating the problem instead of getting at the root of the problem, then they've made their money. They've made their business successful. They're taking the trips to Paris while you're still struggling
and dying because they put you on a blood pressure medicine and your liver was fine, but now your liver's gone, and that's just how it is. So it's just like really tapping into your mind, your body, your soul, really paying attention to how your body reacts. You are your first doctor. You're the first doctor. You're your first doctor, not no one else. So when something happens, in your mind, I don't feel right.
Yep, absolutely.
Okay, well, what is it that, is not making me feel right? And those are the things that we have to pay attention to. And YouTube is so much in this world right now that there's no way in the world that people really don't have or tap into like what they really should, because
self-education.
Oh my gosh. It's right. It's on the tip of it's everywhere.
It's everywhere.
But we don't want to learn. We want to, I don't have no money to just keep going to the doctors. I'm going to figure it out. Like I'm going to figure it out. So, listen, I got my whole medicine cabinet is full with herbs. I mean, batarack, burdock root, oregano oil, turmeric, black seed oil. These are all the things that can keep you and help you every day. If you take them things every day, I promise you, you will be good. Let me tell you again, black seed oil, oregano oil, turmeric, what else is burdock root? Did I say black seed oil? What else is oh gosh, basil. Take basil, garlic. It's so many. It's so many.
You know, I didn't know that basil. Well, of course, we only know about basil as far as cooking is concerned.
Right.
We didn't know that. I never knew it was an herb that you can take for your overall health.
Oh yes. Oh yes.
Right.
Oh
now,
yes.
Now I do know a little something about garlic.
Garlic.
I was told one time that garlic is a natural mosquito repellent.
I never heard that. I never heard that. But real quick, I wanted to take a minute out real quick because somebody wanted to say something real quick. Hold on 1 second.
I know one thing that you need to do when things are going on with your body that you don't necessarily agree with. Sometimes all you have to do is clear your throat. That's all you need to do is just clear your throat sometimes and everything is all right.
Yes. Well, hello, sir. And your name is?
I'm legendary DJ Kool, Southeast Washington, D.C. Yes, sir. And just like I said, you know, you can take all your pharmaceuticals and all your medication. Sometimes all you need to do is just simply clear your throat, man, and that's it. Works wonders every time.
We got the legend up in the house, man. What's up? How you doing, sir?
I'm good. Hey, check this out. And also, garlic is also a good people repellent too. A lot of people around you, you start eating a whole lot of garlic. And I promise you,
it's all by yourself.
Alone time, yeah. You get plenty of alone time. You can really get into your own thoughts. Leave that. How you doing, man?
I'm doing
good. You know, I was just, first of all, I want to thank Tamika Joy for giving me the opportunity to come on you guys' platform and everything. And I just wanted to chime in and kind of bounce off of what y'all was talking about as far as natural health remedies are concerned.
Okay.
All of that stuff that Tamika just spoke on, that is my regular regimen every day. I take a handful of vitamins and supplements every day. All of oregano is not for the weak of heart. If you're gonna that's right there. You got a real human being to be able to stomach that. So I take that in gel cap form. That full of oregano, boy, that is like the devil's pee. I'm telling you that.
I've been taking it so long. It's like water to me, Kool.
I'm glad you can do it because that all of oregano, the actual oil,
and then now
that ain't nothing to play with.
I found one that has black seed and oregano in it. They're mixed.
Get out of here, okay.
And so, yes, but I take the super strength one. When I know that I'm feeling something coming on, I take the super strength. It's all this is one. And it, boy, I tell you, that thing's like, pow! And everything just open up.
That oil of oregano oil will hit you so hard, it'll make you duplicate yourself. It'll be two of y'all standing there. One of y'all that's still sick and the other one that's perfectly healthy. It used to be a little cartoon come on back in the day. It's called The Incredibles. And one of the characters was a character called Multiple Man. He could just turn himself like in multiple versions. Like, let's say it could be, I can make 5 of me, or, you know, so on and so forth. That oil of oregano, the actual oil, if you take that, that's what you feel like. You have 5 or 6 of yourself standing there. That thing is tough. So I started taking a gel cap. I'm sorry. He called me with that thing. God almighty.
Disclaimer, definitely have you some water with you when you take it.
Oh, okay.
That water ain't gonna help you. It ain't gonna help. I tried the water. I tried prayer. I tried everything. I tell you one thing, I won't feeling bad no more. I felt like a brand new me.
I'm telling you, it will get you through. It'll just like that. It's no joke. It is definitely no joke. Oregano oil, black seed oil, sea moss,
Yes.
turmeric, like I said, basil, garlic.
There's a lot of fake sea moss out there though. You gotta be careful.
Oh yeah, I have my own. I make my own. It's actually my mom. I've named it after my mom because when she passed, I wanted to keep her legacy going. So she was a nurse, and so she continues to help people stay healthy by Tammy Lynn's Heart, which is sea moss that I actually make, and I actually infuse it with organic fruits.
Mm-hmm.
Excellent.
Yeah,
because there's a lot of fake sea moss out there, and you probably be better off just drinking tap water. You know?
Well, and they got capsules as well. Because sometimes when I know I'm just go, and I got time to go in the refrigerator, whatever, I'll get my capsules and just take them and going out. Yeah. So they have capsules for all of these. Like I said, the oregano oil. They have capsules for the black seed oil, for the sea moss. They have capsules for all those different things.
Now I remember about 5 years ago. No. 2017, someone told me about turmeric, and they told me to go to a organic store and get the little bottle of it. So at that time I was living on Capitol Hill, and I was in walking distance of Yes Organic Market. So I go in there with my big bad self, get this little bottle of turmeric, and I said, I'm gonna put this in my. At that time I had a juice machine. So I was making my own juice. I said, I'm gonna put this in my juice. Well, I should have tasted it first.
Was it bad?
It was
horrible.
I think I overdid it, and it was so bitter.
Okay.
And
I never really went back to it. The guy told me, he said, next time you might want to get the capsules.
That was my reaction when I first tasted black seed oil.
Yeah, it tastes like
I
oil.
did get used to that. I got used to it. But I'm sorry, Tamika. Ain't nobody getting used to no daggone oil of oregano. I'm sorry. You can get used to black seed. You can get used to it. But that oil of I'm trying to tell you, that is the devil's pee. I'm trying to tell you. That is sorry. Sorry.
I love it. Listen, I tell my kids, the older ones, I see y'all throwing back y'all alcohol and y'all are shaking and doing all that after you took you a shot. It's the same feeling of it, and it's gonna make you feel better than tomorrow. You ain't gonna remember tomorrow, or you gonna feel worse drinking that shot. You ain't gonna feel worse drinking that oregano oil.
Give you that. I will give you that. Again, I'm taking it in council form. I'm sorry.
Listen, long as you get, however you get it, that's all that matters.
Yes, exactly. I tell people all the time, though, because we come from the earth, if you want to get a little bit deep with it right now, with that being known, there is an earth in the ground for everything that's going on with you. Now, all of these herbs and things you cannot find in the United States. You got to do your homework and go to the natural health stores and stuff like that, like you were speaking of earlier. But I don't care what's going on with you. It's an herb in the ground, everything. Just like, think about this. Those doggone, what do we call them? Well, we would say that they're weeds. The dandelion. Right?
Yes.
Yeah.
So digging them up, but for real, that dandelion root, like you can use that whole plant if you know what you're doing with it.
Yep. dandelion root.
Mm-hmm.
What's the other one? It's an actual stragglers. Yeah, licorice root.
Hey, look, I got a story to tell y'all about dandelions. When I found out what they was, I had to be about maybe a 7 or 8 year old kid. I used to just pull them out the ground and eat them.
And then what she say?
He should be healthy as hell by now.
That's why I kept him. I'm telling you.
You was eating the raw. I never thought to eat those. What we did,
I don't know better.
When they bloomed and whatnot, we used to just blow them, and blow the seeds off of them. I ain't never thought about eating nothing like that. It was weed.
I never caught a cold.
Between that and that daggone oregano, old boy, you shouldn't have no problems at all. No COVID shots, none of that. That's another thing. I didn't take none of the COVID shots. I've only had one flu shot, and that would be, okay, so first and foremost, I'm 66. Okay, so I come from a time to where we had to take those vaccinations when we were in elementary school. Right. Those were what they call booster shots or whatever. So a lot of us that are over, let's say 55, I would say, that's probably on the younger end. I would say at least 60 and up. All of us have this little mark on our arm, to where we had to take that booster shot, which was an actual flu shot when we went to elementary school.
Okay.
Other than that, I never took no flu shots. I never took none of the COVID shots. I was like, look, they trying to trip y'all up with that, because they was acting. It was too much attached to it. Yeah, right. we gonna give you a free Mercedes Benz if you take this shot. I'm like, what? Get out of here! Y'all doing too much. Something ain't right with that.
Right.
And then they're gonna turn around and backslide on. Well, you know what?
Right. Right. I mean, they was literally paying people. That's what I was like, something.
I'm like, okay, y'all doing too much with that.
I never got to see the white in my grandmother's eyes because of cancer. And all the other people that I've lost along the way. If you haven't figured out how to vaccinate and figure out how to cure cancer, no, thank you.
They have it, right. But it's just like what he was saying earlier. They're not going to let these cures get out of here. They want to keep on putting the Band-Aid on.
Right.
Keep on Band-Aid on, you see. Keep you coming back.
Right.
But they definitely had those cures. I heard Mr. Farrakhan speak on this one time about the fact that a lot of these cures are already in Africa, but they would not let, the United States would not let none of those remedies, so to speak, be sanctioned by the United States. So you had to go to Africa and other countries if you wanted to get some of this medicine. So to speak.
Yeah, they have, and I agree. My thing is, do the same thing that you did for that for the cancer patients. You know what I'm saying?
And the industry will shoot down to anyone that tries to introduce that into our society. Mm-hmm. And my revelation about that was, just one day I was talking to this gentleman, and he was on the side. He was a vendor, and we got to talking. And he says, "You know something?" He says, "You know something, young man." I forgot what African country he said he was from. He says, "I have several degrees." He says, "I have a degree in medicine. I have a degree in botany." He says, I have a degree in holistic medicine. Mm-hmm. He said, "But I come to this country and it means nothing."
Mm-hmm.
His name was Dr. Sebi, was it? Because that's why he gone. Because he knew too much.
Too much.
Mm-hmm. Yep.
Too much.
And he straight to their bag. He gonna, and there's a bunch of them that's not here no more because of the knowledge that they had. And they were like, no, we're not doing that. You're not going to mess my bag up. We're going to get your ass out of here. That's it right now. And call it an accident. You know what I'm saying? It's crazy.
Crazy. And Like, and when you go over to those other countries, you know, you get to see how their fruits and their food is just so different and so fresh.
So different.
And you know, they look at us like we're just pigs. We're filthy. Y'all eat just like pigs. Y'all eat like, because what, you know, we're always eating sugary things and just stuff that's just nasty.
One time last month I was riding a Metro Access driver, and guy was from Jamaica, and he says I don't really like to go home to my country anymore because we don't even eat like we used to. He said now we got the fast food countries coming into our area, and now we are starting to eat more fast food. And he said something that blew my mind. He said when I go to a supermarket and when I'm picking my fruit and vegetables, he said I pick the fruit and vegetables that are drawing the flies. And I said, why? He said, because I know that those are the better fruits. They're more organic. He says, I don't want to eat something that an insect doesn't want to be bothered with.
True indeed.
Think about it. Yes, indeed. So you go to Jamaica, you can get stuff like sour sop and stuff like that, which is amazing. Has an agent in it that blocks cancer and stuff like that. So, yeah, man. Yep, it's curbing the ground for everything that's going on with us. You just got to find it. That's all.
Made it.
Matter of fact, I got a book. I'm going to show y'all something.
Let's go.
He made it. He made every plant for all of us.
Yes.
I got it too. I got that book. Yes. Every remedy. I'm telling you, that's just bad.
What's the title of that book?
It is called The Lord's Book of Herbal Remedies.
The Lord.
You got everything in here that you need. When you finish reading this book, your ass will be Dr. Sabi.
I'm telling you. Right. I'm Dr. Tamika because I'm telling you, I'm like, what? I mean, and we really take God for granted when it says in the word that he made, you know, the heaven and the earth and the garden and all the plants and all the trees and all the things that we walk by every day that is healing to our body, that can keep us going and we can live off of. We can live off of fruits and vegetables.
Yes.
We can live off of
it. And the crazy thing about it, y'all, guess who knows more about this than we do? Animals. Animals.
Because most of them do.
Because I remember a story my God.
Elephant.
One of my best friends told me that they had a dog and he got into something and got sick.
And where'd he go? Got some grass, right?
No, he should have. They said they kept him in the house.
And he went and got grass. Oh, they
and he passed away. And the vet told him if you had let them just go outside, he would have went in the woods and found what he was that need to eat, and he would have healed himself.
Yeah. Well, the dog,
they know.
When that's what he did. They will go outside and eat grass. I'm telling you.
The animals, so they, you know what I'm saying?
You know?
We need to take the book. We take the page out of their book. For real.
I had
No, we too busy making them wear clothes and all this kind of stuff. Which is like shoes and carrying on. I'm like, what are you doing? And the dog is like, you know what I'm saying? Like, why are you trying to put these shoes and stuff on me?
I had a guide dog. Someone told me, you should put. It's cold outside. You should put a shirt or something on your dog. I said, you should put some clothes on him. I said, ma'am, he does have clothes. It's called fur.
Yeah, exactly. You idiot. And if you ain't got no sense enough to know damn well it's too cold out here for the dog to keep them out there, depending on what type of. So let's put it this way: your Chihuahua or what have you is not going to be able to withstand that cold weather. Not that type of animal.
Right.
But you got that Husky. Oh, he's doing that all day.
Right.
He's built for that. You know what I mean? Certain type of animals. Well, that's just why we just talking about dogs. Certain dogs are more able to withstand that type of weather than other dogs.
Right.
You know what I mean? So you gotta have sense enough to know that. You know, people got these huskies and it's hot out here and they miserable.
Mm-hmm. Yeah.
They don't want to be in the heat like that. We want to be somewhere where it's cold. What the hell?
Right.
So,
yeah. Yep. Well, I definitely listen. We got to ask him some questions about his journey on this legendary DJing journey, because I know the people want to know, a little bit about your background and what made you start DJing.
Yes,
how did you even come to that type of industry, and when did it start, and why did it start?
Well, when did it start? I guess it started, for the most part, when I was a kid, just growing up in a musical household. You know what I'm saying? Listening to the music that my mother and father were playing in the household. My father was playing a lot of old, like, soul and blues artists, people like Nat King Cole and Brooke Benton and Sam Cooke and people like that. My mother was listening to gospel artists, people like Mahalia Jackson, and whoever the big gospel artists were back then in the 50s or what have you. Because just like I said, I'm 66. I was born in 58. So, it started back then. Fast forward to high school for me. Now, first of all, I'm from Southeast. I grew up over there, 15th of Pennsylvania Avenue, Southeast, probably a few blocks away from what would be known as Potomac Gardens to a lot of native Washingtonians. All right.
Okay. I went to school over there, Kool. I went to not too far from there. I went to John Tyler Elementary over there on 10th and G.
I went to John Tyler.
Get out of here.
Third and fourth grade year, I was in John Tyler. Yes, indeed.
Man.
I want to talk about schools for a moment. I went to St. Peter's Elementary. I went to John Tyler. Went to Randall Junior High, Eastern High School.
Ooh.
So let's fast forward to Randall Junior High.
Mm-hmm.
For me, it was always sports and music. You know what I mean? And we fit girls in there too, somewhere in the middle. But for the most part, always sports and music. So I was a full sport athlete coming up. I played basketball, baseball, football, ran track. By the time I got to high school, it was more so football, baseball, basketball.
Mm-hmm.
But still, into the music as well, because in junior high school, I took music theory classes and stuff like that. So I learned stuff like how many beats there are in a bar of music and what a musical sequence, all this music theory stuff. So I learned that in junior high school. Fast forward to high school. If I'm not at practice or something like that, we're in the hallways, singing, harmonizing and whatnot in the hallways, or even, we're in band practice and stuff like that. 1977 is when I started as a DJ. I went to a club in 1975 for the first time. A buddy of mine took me to a club that used to be downtown on 12th and New York Avenue. It was called The Room.
Yeah. Yep.
Okay. Actually, back in the 60s, it was called The Rocket Room. But by the time I got there, 75, just being a patron, it was called just simply The Room. There was a DJ there named Maniac McLeod.
Oh, man. Yeah.
Okay, and at that time, as far as club DJs are concerned, you had him and you had everybody else, in my opinion. So I've seen Maniac McLeod, and I'm like, damn, that joker right there hot. I think I want to get into that. So I got with a buddy of mine that I actually went to Eastern High School with, and we started doing house parties.
Mm-hmm.
Right? My buddy of mine named RG. He went to Eastern with me. As a matter of fact, I didn't really meet him until, for real, after we got out of high school. I would always see him in the hallways passing by all the time we speak, but we never really chopped it up until after. I seen him at a house party, and then, I'm talking to him about music, and he said, well, man, hell, you need to get with me. So we started doing house parties. Then I got seen by a company called the Sound Service. This guy named Dr. Ashton Greaves owned the Sound Service, and it was a mobile DJ company. He hired DJs out. He had different systems that he had. And let's say he could have me doing one party, he could have you doing a party, he could have Tamika doing a party at the same time. He had a big system. He could put it all together, make one big system, or he could just split us up into 3 different individual systems. So working with the Sound Service, I really started working with them in 1977. I worked for them for 2 years. And while I was at an event with the Sound Service, a guy named Richard Jefferson, he was a club DJ at what was then called the Paragon 2. Used to be in Georgetown on Wisconsin Avenue. He approached me in 1979. He said, "Cool, you good enough to be playing in clubs." I'm like, "For real?" Because I have been playing with the Sound Service for 2 years. He said, "You need to come to the Paragon 2 because I'm getting ready to leave there. You need to go up there and get that job." I went and got that job in 1979 is when I started working in the club. I worked there from 1979 until 1982 when they closed. In 82, Maniac McLeod called me and said, "Cool, I'm getting ready to leave the room. I'm going to the Ibex," which is another club that I wound up playing at later.
Yep.
Right?
Georgia Avenue.
I'm sorry?
Up on Georgia Avenue.
Yes, indeed.
Yep.
He said, "Cool, I'm going to the Ibex. You need to go to the room because you're the only DJ that can handle this crowd." Now, what he meant by that was the room had a very urban crowd back then, right? So when I'm coming around in 79, I'm one of the first ones in the club to playing hip-hop, playing go-go, because they had just come out.
Whoa, okay.
You know, I remember, as far as hip-hop is concerned, King Tim III by the Fatback Band and Sugar Hill Gang, Rapper's Delight, they came out in 1979.
Mm-hmm.
Remember, I was playing since 77, but hip-hop didn't come out till 79 when I first hit the clubs.
Right.
So now I'm one of the only cats playing hip-hop in DC, in the clubs, because there wasn't no hip-hop to play before then. It hadn't been put, it hadn't been recorded. It was going on in New York, and they had a lot of groups, old school groups like Cold Crush Brothers, Country Street, a lot of these groups, but they hadn't recorded yet.
Recording anything, yep.
Right? So here I am. I'm one of the first ones, or probably the first one, from what a lot of folks tell me from back then, that was playing hip hop, starting to play hip hop in the club. Also, go-go is now coming out, being recorded.
Yeah.
I did not play Bustin' Loose. I would say Maniac McLeod wrote Bustin' Loose. I heard him play that first in the club. But everything else, from Rare Essence, Body Moves, EU's first record, which was a song called Rock Your Butt, that came out on a 45. Everybody that was coming out with go-go, Trouble Funk, E-Flat Boogie, 79, 1980. All this, everybody bringing DJ Kool, all this urban music. So not only am I playing funk and disco and R&B, now I'm playing hip-hop and go-go. So I'm getting this urban crowd, right? So I'm at the room. I work there 6 nights a week.
Wow.
Yes, from 1982 to 1986, I worked at the room by myself from 6 nights a week. So let's rewind the tape a little bit. When I was working at the Paragon 2, I only worked there, 2 nights a week. They was open. I think the Paragon was open on Sundays too, but I did Fridays and Saturdays. I worked from 9 to 2 at the Paragon Fridays and Saturdays. I was making $50 a night.
Man.
But I'm 21 years old. You know what I mean? So that's cool. I got $100. You know what I mean? I got enough to buy some records, give my mother some money, and I'm fine. But by the time I get to the room, I'm still making $50 a night, but I'm playing 6 nights a week. So I'm making $300 a week.
$300 a week.
Right.
Yeah.
Right.
Well.
Yeah.
Still early 20s, so I'm still doing the same thing. I'm buying my records. I'm giving my mother some money. I'm straight. So now, back then, as opposed to nowadays, if you worked at a club, if you was a DJ at a club, you worked by yourself from opening to closing. I was at the room for those 4 years. I worked from Tuesday through Sunday night, right? Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, and Sunday, I played from 9 till 2 in the morning. Fridays and Saturdays, I played from 9 p.m. to 6 a.m.
Ooh.
I did that for 4 years at the Room.
Oh my goodness.
By myself.
Wow.
The DJ booth, the way it was set up, it was a one-man situation. Like you might could get another person in there, but they would have to be standing behind you. They couldn't stand beside you because it wasn't wide enough. It was really a one-man DJ booth. Wow. As opposed to a lot of these booths that I started seeing later on, they were much bigger. And you can get, But the Room, one-man operation. So Fridays and Saturdays in particular, my 9 to 6 thing. So I'd start out 9 o'clock. I'll come to the club. I might have a few new records that I'm listening to. I'm just putting music on, letting it play because people are just starting to come through the door. They're coming in, party. They're going to the bar. They're getting ready to go, get their drinks in them, this and that. So I might start. That's all it is. I'm listening to new stuff and this and that. So probably about 10:30 when I start mixing records now and get my dance floor warmed up. By 11 o'clock, I got that dance floor hot. By 12 o'clock, the club's crazy. It's jam-packed. The club's crazy at 12 o'clock. And I'm keeping this floor packed from 12 midnight to 6 in the morning. Now, mind you, you got the go-go people that was at the Washington Coliseum, Maverick Room, and stuff like this back then. The go-go's were let out probably about 3 o'clock, right? So the majority of the people that came to the Room, as a matter of fact, the Room was on 12th and New York Avenue Northwest. Back then, it was directly across the street from what was then the Greyhound and Trailways bus station. That was when Trailways bus station was out. This was in the early 80s. A lot of people, all the go-go people would leave the Washington Coliseum, get down to the Room probably about 3:30 and party with me the last 2.5 hours because they know that we ain't close till 6 o'clock. Cool up in there cranking. Yeah. That's back in the day when you can get 3 bands for $3 at the Coliseum and a can something. It was crazy. So also a lot of people from New York, Philly, Jersey used to come to the Room because they was getting off the Greyhound bus. A lot of them would get there about 10:30, walk right across the street from the Greyhound bus station, come in the club, party all night, 6 o'clock in the morning, walk right back across the street, catch the first thing smoking, going back to Philly, Jersey, and New York.
Wow.
Man.
1986, the Room closed, and I got asked to come to the Classics. I had a Monday night at the Classics that was called Come As You Are Night. Before I came there, the Classics was a very bougie spot. You had to dress up, you had suited and booted, as they call it, coming in the Classics. And they were playing a lot of, it was a conservative crowd, a professional crowd that used to be up in there. Shout out to Greg Diggs. He was playing some amazing music in there, playing a lot of R&B, a lot of club music, house music, stuff like that. But he wasn't playing like hip-hop and go-go and reggae and all this kind of stuff. Because they had different crowds, a little bit more conservative. When I came, and just like I say, you had to dress up. When I was actually come to the Room in 86, I brought the hood with me. So then here come all the D-boys and this and that. Here come your Versace sweatsuits, your Fila sweatsuits, your tennis shoes, stuff like that. The New Balance and all of that back then. Hood is up in there because DJ Kool playing go-go, he playing hip-hop. Along with all this other stuff that I'm playing. I played at the Classics from 1986, and it was called Come As You Are Night. I worked at the Classics from 1986 to probably about, I'm going to say 89.
Okay.
I got a call to come to Triples nightclub. I had a huge Sunday night at Triples. That was crazy. So Triples, that was around 88, 89. Then next thing you know, I had a Thursday night at the Ibex. That was incredible. Around that time, around late 80s. I was also playing at God Almighty. What other clubs was I working at? I worked at Rhythms. I had a big Sunday night at Rhythms one time. Let me see. The East Side. East Side was late 80s, early 90s, on Fridays, sometimes Saturdays. The last club that I worked at as a what you would call a residency was the Legends, and that was 1996.
Mm-hmm.
Oh man,
that was the DJ thing here. And then next thing you know, so let's go back to 1986. I had a song called "The Music Ain't Loud Enough, Pump Up the Volume."
Yes, sir.
Record to come out here, to come from here, also mixing go-go to hit the Billboard charts in 1986.
Mm-hmm.
I broke all the other artists coming behind me. Broke all of their songs. Was put in position. Well, I guess let's get DJ Kool our song, So that's gonna be DC Scorpio. They bought me his record first, that Stone Cold Hustler. I broke that record. I broke Stinking Ink's One Track Mind. I can tell you exactly where I broke that at, down at the East Side, because he bought me the record. I listened to it. That's how I'm playing this right now. It was just that time. Well, the thing is, a lot of times when people bring you records, you're not going to play it right now. You ain't really got time to listen to it because, you're working your floor. You know what I'm saying? You're working. So you take that record home, you listen to it, and you're going to decide whether you're going to play it next week or not. I heard that, and I played it right on the spot, right there at the East Side. Fat Rodney, same thing. Rest in peace. He had a song called, what's the name of that daggone song? Bustin' Out, produced by Chucky Thompson. Mm-hmm. If I'm not mistaken, Chucky himself brought me that record over to Triple's nightclub. This was the late 80s when I had my Sunday night over there. Brought me his record. When I first heard that, played that. Then other little artists, P.O.P., all of these people. So I was the first to play a lot of these artists' records that was coming out here. Mm-hmm. I broke their records. All the go-go records that was coming out. Broke all of them. Backyard first records, Junkyard first records. Everybody was bringing me their records in their clubs. I had a line around the block, and I'm playing this music. I'm going to tell you something real funny. Genuine. You don't know about this part. Genuine used to be in a group called Physical Wonder.
Okay.
As a go-go band.
Right? He used to be in a group called Physical Wonder. And this was late 80s when I was playing at Triples on Sundays. Genuine was one of my regulars. Old pretty boy coming up in there every time. And he won't Genuine back then. He used to be a dancer that went by the name of Turbo. He's a male dancer. Went by the name of Turbo for a brief moment. So he's pretty boy, and when women see him, they just go nuts. So he used to come in there, cool, man. Man, I got a new record with my band. I want to know if you play it. I listened to it. I went on and played it. Good record. Physical Wonder. Never heard anything else from them after that. Anyway, here's my Genuine story. Took him to Richmond, Virginia with me one time. I was working at a place called Ivory's. That was around 1992. Told him to get up there on that stage. I was going to let him do something. I guess he was going to dance or something. Before he can do anything, when them lights hit him, the women just start screaming. I'm like, you're a pretty boy, And they going off in the dude. Nobody knew who he was. He wasn't even calling himself Genuine at the time. So I'll never forget it. He said, "Cool, since you broke my record," he said, when I ever get famous, man, I ain't gonna never forget you." Pony came out, and I was at Douglas Stereo over there, right across from Iverson Mall. Brand new. And somebody said, "Man, Genuine CD just came out, and he gave you a shout out." I'm like, "Man, get out of here." He said, "For real, here it is right here." And so I looked at it and I said, "Well, damn, he didn't, he kept his promise." But when Music Ain't Loud Enough came out, I had a single on somewhere on the Billboard charts, more so on the lower side, but still on the charts every year, 86, 87, 88, 89, all the way up to Let Me Clear My Throat in 1996. Last year, Let Me Clear My Throat went platinum.
Yep.
Whoa.
Yep.
Back in October, but we were supposed to go platinum in 1997.
Mm-hmm.
So that record in particular started out on a little independent label that was out of Baltimore. I was only on 2 indie labels. The stuff that Music Ain't Loud Enough and all those late 80s records, or mid to late 80s records came out. Those were on a label called Creative Funk Music. Shout out to Dickie Berry, may he rest in peace. My situation was over with him by 1992. 92, I signed with a situation called CLR Records, which was headed by another indie guy out of Baltimore named Steve Janis. Excuse me. Clear My Throat came out in 96. Well, before that, we had 20-minute workout. That one right there took off.
Remember that one? Okay.
I got the feeling was about to take off, but that's another story. So Clear My Throat comes out in 96. It takes off. We sold 488,000 independent, which is damn near gold. We got contacted by American Records, which was at the time Rick Rubin from Def Jam with him and Russell. After they split up, we got signed to American Records. I was signed in a joint venture deal between American Records and Warner Brothers. 1997, with Warner Brothers being the distributor, from what I was told, but also owning 50% of my rights, which I didn't know at the time. So they split up 1997. American was trying to take me to Def Jam, which would have been the second time that I got courted by Def Jam. That's another long story. But anyway, well, actually the third time, I'm sorry, that's another long story. But that didn't happen. Warner Brothers said, we're going to keep DJ Kool. So instead of them saying, okay, this dude, and how can I say, we turned gold in 2 months after Warner Brothers. We was gold in 2 months. So I'm like, all right, it should be no problem getting the platinum. I got Warner Brothers behind me. Nope. Warner Brothers, when they broke up with American, now they beefing, and they set me on the shelf. They set Tevin Campbell on the shelf, and they set Tamia on the shelf.
Whoa.
I didn't get out of my contract with them until 2003. I was set on the shelf for 6 years.
Chills.
Know the feeling, brother. No, I said, know the feeling.
Yeah. I was set on that shelf for 6 years. Had records. I got that feeling came out. Wasn't supposed to come out, but I guess somebody leaked it or what have you. Came on the Billboard charts, on the top 50 singles charts, came on at number 12 with a bullet.
Yes.
No promotion. Heard it had went up to number 4. Now this back in the late 90s. The label was saying they weren't gonna do nothing with the record. The damn record is damn near it's top 5. What is y'all talking about? But they still weren't gonna do nothing with me because they said that they're still beefing with American Records. So I got caught up in a lot of bureaucracy. Record label. So fast forward to 2022. I got asked to do an event at the RIAA headquarters, which is, for people that don't know anything about the music industry, the RIAA, which is the Recording Artists Institute of America. No, what is it? Something like that. But anyway, they are the people that give you your gold and platinum and whatnot certifications. The headquarters is here in DC. A lot of people don't know it's right downtown on F Street.
Oh, okay.
I'm at the event and I'm telling them about my situation, and they said, "Well, man, you got a huge record." As a matter of fact, and this is 2022. He said, "Your record is bigger now than it was back then when it was coming." And I think they was talking about because of streaming that's been going on for the last 15, maybe 20 years, I guess.
Mm-hmm.
So they said, "We're going to do an investigation and we'll get back with you," which was essentially an audit that they had to do between all the label entities that had something to do, with my situation, so to speak. It took a year, and I got a phone call from a buddy of mine that Thursday morning, back in October. Cool, your record done went platinum. I'm like, hey, get out of here. What are you talking about? He said, for real? I said, where you see that at? He said, go to the RIAA website. I went there, and it was right there. Congratulations, DJ Kool. You've been certified platinum by the RIAA.
All right, man. Yeah.
Thank God. I'm the only DJ here with a